you one day. And thank you for that knowledge too. Be with us in everything we do. Forgive us what we feel. In thy name we pray.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our mission statement. Our mission is to empower all students to reach their highest levels of achievement. Our vision is in partnership with the community. The Wayne County school system will be a progressive system where all students acquire the knowledge and skills to be productive, responsible, successful citizens in a rapidly changing world. Our belief is that every person is worthy of respect. Every person has the right to learn and work in a safe, nurturing environment. Every child learns when actively involved in educational experiences that reflect the uniqueness of each student's abilities. Every child will be encouraged and supported to be a lifelong learner in preparing for a rapidly changing world. Everyone learns best when they are engaged participants in their learning. Literacy is the foundation of education. Family, school, and community are responsible for the growth, development, and the success of its students.
Motion to adopt the agenda. So
Second.
moved. Second.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Mr. Whittington?
Yes, ma'am.
Motion to approve the June 22nd meeting. So moved.
Second.
Moved. Second.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Whittington?
Yes, ma'am.
Any public participation? No, sir. Move on to our resolutions and recognitions. All right, we move on to the items of business, capital outlay plans.
I believe it is the desire of the board to move or take action on the committee members for the capital outlay committee. You have been sent those members and are aware. We are prepared to move forward. Would you take action on the committee?
We will announce the capital outlay committee, and then we'll ask for the board to take action on that. So we will follow Superintendent Dr. Sean Kelly, Board Member Ray Daisy, Board Member Bruce Harrison, Assistant Maintenance Director Ray Morris, Athletic Director Ken Cribb, Central Office Chief Operations Officer Dr. John Simon, District 1 appointee Gary Lewis, 1 year. District 1 appointee Ian Green, 2 years. District 2 appointee Mackie McReady, 1 year. District 2 appointee Lonnie Mullis, 2 years. District 3 appointee Reed Brown, 1 year. District 3 appointee Sean O'Quinn, 2 years. District 4 appointee James Gorman, 1 year. District 4 appointee Suzette Formby, 2 years. District 5 appointee Bobby Lamb, 1 year. District 5 appointee Craig Davis, 2 years. At-large appointee Bill Parker, 1 year. Motion to approve the capital outlay committee as presented. So moved.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Whittington?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. As far as updates on our capital outlay projects, the James Bacon project is moving along. Up until today, it really wasn't a whole lot going on, but indoors there's a good bit of work going on. I think you guys are aware of, there's a couple of sections that have already been totally gutted and things are starting to happen as far as plumbing and so forth. I don't know if you noticed on the way in, but they're starting to put up batter boards and different things. Get ready to start digging and digging footers and those things for the new pad for the new addition. The track. Unfortunately, the track has not had any activity in a while because we're still waiting on materials. I check in with, not only with, J.W. Oliver every day or so. I also check in with PQ constructors, about the pipe and the things that are needed to finish the storms. And we just, they're at the mercy of the suppliers. And as soon as we get that stuff, it'll go in the ground. We're looking at trying to do some things on the opposite end of the track. They have expressed to me that this delay is not going to significantly impact their completion date towards the end of September. Obviously, if we wait longer, then that's going to happen. But one of the owners of TQ Constructors, says that they're having issues on all their jobs. And so, we're just kind of unfortunately at the mercy of the suppliers, and hopefully, we'll be able to move forward. I know that there are a lot of things that they want to be doing, but we can't really do anything on the surface until we finish getting the storms in, because it just would be counterproductive. So hopefully that'll happen sooner rather than later. The practice fields both have sod. One's been sodded for several weeks. The other one, I think, got sodded a couple of days ago. So those have both been sodded, and will be rolled and dressed, in the next few days to make sure that it's the way it's supposed to be. We are currently looking at some delineation opportunities with wetlands, because there's a little bit of concern about the wetlands between the two fields and whether or not they actually are wetlands, or if they are, which the surveyor says they are, then there might be some opportunities for us to use a little bit of that once we go through the appropriate processes. So we have someone who is looking at that and will provide us with a proposal about what we might do with regard to the wetlands. Once we have that, I'll present that to you guys for your consideration.
When you refer to the two fields, are you referring to the track area and the practice fields, or that area between the two practice fields, the little square area?
I am referring just to the area between the new two practice fields over by the field house. There's an area between those two fields that kind of interrupts, the two fields. We still have two fields there, but we'd like to be able to use some of that area in between the two fields. And then on the far end of the field that runs by, the dirt road, it's cut off a little bit because of the wetlands penetration of the corner of that field. So we may try to entertain, look at that as well, just to see if there are any opportunities there, so that we can kind of fix that corner down in that back right portion down by the field.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I rode by there and saw that where the wood is piled up at that location. Is what you're referring to?
Yes, ma'am. That the state has, Corps of Engineers and different entities that have, wetlands on the geographicals and those kind of things. And so those things are considered by the surveyor. And, once they're designated wetlands, we have to, there's nothing we can do with it. We go through the process, and then we're not sure if we can do anything with it after the process. But, we'll certainly try to explore it, and I'll present options to the board as they come to us. See if that's anything that is of interest to the board.
That would be great.
Okay. Softball, even though softball is not, SPLOST project, it is something that is going on. But it is moving along pretty nicely. We've got a lot of rain, but the backstop holder up, the backstop wall and quarters in place. The fence is almost complete, with regard to the new fence. The infield dirt is actually on the infield now, and we'll be going in, we'll be getting graded. They've already began out, and so that's coming along nicely. The backstop netting should be going up really soon. And they're still deciding on what they may do with a warning track. I think they have a desire to have a warning track, but it just depends on resources and time and stuff. So I think like Coach Johnson update to me was that they're still deciding on the warning track. She is very confident that it will be ready to go when it needs to be ready to go.
What was the problem with moving the field back?
Well, they moved the fence back in the middle, out in center field. They moved the fence back a little bit. From what I understand, they did not move the entire field to 8 feet. They initially were going to move it because when the contractor working with that does that for a living, when he actually got out there, from what I understand, he determined that the field was not, for lack of a better way of saying it, was not square. In other words, the way it was situated, it was off a little bit, and in order to make it right, I think that eliminated some of the possibility of moving it forward to 8 feet. So,
Same thing about press box.
I know they're going to probably put it back up. I don't know. I don't think it's going to go back in the same place, but I think they're moving the press box, from what I understand. Yeah, I think they had to remove that in order to put the net up, put one of the blacktop poles.
Did they determine what location they're going to place the press box?
The last time I heard it, it was not a definite, but early conversations with Coach Johnson was that it was going to go on the other side of the home dugout. So that for visibility reasons and for some other reasons, that initially is where they were going to put it. Now, if that's changed, I don't know, and that was a brief conversation, a month ago. Okay. Have any questions about those projects? That's the information that I have.
Mhm. Usually they do. Usually, yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. I knew I wanted to take an opportunity, if it pleases the board, to just kind of a brief review of the 90-day plan that was developed when I first came into the superintendency. And I'm not going to provide a long detailed list, but some of the things that we wanted to do immediately was to get out and visit the stakeholders, begin, getting out in there in public. And I've been many places, many times, and met many people. So I think we've accomplished that. Another immediate need was to work on an improved FY22 budget, and with the assistance of a lot of the staff and especially Mr. Aldridge, we were able to work on and approve the FY22 budget. Immediately coming into the superintendency, there were 4 key vacancies at the central office, and we have hired a human resources COO director, and Dr. Simon has begun. Dr. Burgess took over technology, and that immediately would like to acknowledge Dr. Benny Brooke McIntosh, who was with us actually just started a few days ago as our federal programs director, and will do a wonderful job. And also the superintendent secretary, Ms. Landon, is doing an excellent job. So we have done that. And one of the other things was to begin looking at policy, and the last several meetings we've had policy reviews, revisions, adoptions, and things, and that will continue in the meetings to come. The first 30 days was to meet and have a conversation with all the principals, all the directors, and most of the admin. That began almost immediately. Wanted to do a climate survey with our employees. We sent something out to our employees, had several hundred responses about what they felt we were doing well as a school system, what some of our challenges were, and what they wanted their new superintendents to know and understand. So we got a lot of great information from there. Met many elected officials that get involved with meeting and visiting various community organizations. I have been in all facilities multiple times. We're still working on a date for the board retreat. We're still working on starting our strategic plan, even though we just recently had our district improvement plan approved by the state and a facilities plan. And we have looked at what used to be advanced ed is now co-ed, and basically it's, your accreditation review. We looked at that before. First 60 days, again, have met and visited with many people. Once school starts, we will schedule meetings with faculty groups, parent groups, and student groups, even though I've met with a couple of student groups at the high school. We'll get that, when the school year begins. I did not want to try to do a whole lot in the schools when I got here because we were getting ready to test and all those things. And so we didn't do a whole lot in the schools as far as organized events. And then the first 90 days, we wanted to meet with some high school student leadership groups, which we did. Meet with local school and parent groups, and we'll do that once school begins. Have attended multiple sporting events, school-related events, community events, individual meetings with CO level administrators, and conducted a self-evaluation of the 90-day plan, and have accomplished, I would say, probably at least 75 to 80% of the things that are listed in the 90-day plan. So I think it's been a very busy first 90 days, but I think it's been very productive, very exciting. And you guys have all that information. Any questions or anything about that?
Appreciate the work that you are doing. These 90 days have been very interesting. You came in and began to hire personnel and to realign and adjust on some of the needs, address some of the issues that needed to be addressed. And so we appreciate your commitment to doing those things, hiring qualified staff to fill the key positions in this district so that we can begin the work for this new school year. Appreciate it. So, yes, sir. At a prior meeting, the board had expressed some interest in just hearing information about the drug testing protocols that occurred at the high school. So, I guess the last 5 months of testing at the high school, we tested 101 students. It's a random test. Names are not known. Basically what we do is the company that tests for us, we enter, student ID numbers, and they randomly select certain numbers. We match the number of kids, and that's who gets and so tested 101, had 7 positive tests. 101 at 6.9%. In the first 5 months was 1 positive. The second was 1 positive, and then there's 2 positive tests in the 4th and 5th month of the data that I have. A positive test results in a meeting with a parent, counselor, and also ensures that you get an additional test the next round of testing. If you have a second positive test, that then requires some consideration for outside counsel and other services, and requires you to take the a test the next time. And if there's a third positive test, then there'll be some additional resources that would be recommended. And you may start losing some voluntary activities, things such as parking or extracurricular things like that. If you take a third test, so that is the information that I have for you guys regarding drug testing protocol. Ready to move, Mr. Chairman? Sir. This evening, we would like to ask you, as a board, to approve our elementary, middle, high school handbooks, as well as our personnel handbooks. These handbooks were provided to you prior to the meeting for your review. In the elementary handbook, really all any revisions that were made, basically name and assignment changes, and there was some information changed about the amount of time students will be asked to do makeup work. With the middle school handbook, again, name and assignment changes, and there was 1 or 2 small issues that we revised. In high school, again, name and assignment changes. One of the things that we really wanted to address with the high school handbook was some discrepancies with regard to our attendance policy. And so we've addressed some tardy to school procedures, some tardy to class procedures, some general attendance information. We still have 1 late revision that we have to make based on the DOE rule that came out not too long ago, but with regard to the weighted amounts of the EOCs. So we need to make that
we'll make that change tomorrow to reflect a DOE requirement that EOC counts 20% of the final grade. So we'll make that change tomorrow. We also had to list some information that was that came from the DOE with regard to alternate diplomas for our severe and profound students, and some DAA requirements, some early graduation application information, some balance out, valedictorian, supplementary, and how need to be enrolled in high school, scholarship ceremony, clarification at the end of the year, included the lunch prices, again, eliminating breakfast lunch prices for 0 students, again, due to some AP enrollment contract information. So we apologize for not getting these things to you guys a little earlier, but there were some changes we need to review. Some things we need to review and revise based on some policy changes from the DOE, some legislation, and some policy changes from the board. Our personnel handbook, I just had some minor revisions to comply with some new legislation and some policy revision from the DOE and from the board. We had to list some things in there about rental leave, FMLA, public participation in meetings, payroll, and benefits. And so we think we have reviewed, we had several people reviewing the handbooks. We think we have the information in there accurately and the information that needs to be in there so we can operate effectively. And we're asking the board to approve those handbooks this evening so that we can have them ready for students on the first day of school.
Dr. Kelly, once we approve them and y'all make the changes, will we be able to go ahead and get these uploaded prior to the start of school?
Yes,
So that people can go ahead and start.
Yes, sir. As soon as they're approved, there should be no reason why we can't get them loaded very soon.
I have a question, Dr. Kelly.
Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that about a 3-day period that a student has to bring in an excuse. Is there a time limit on the time frame the student has to turn in those assignments?
I think it states that it has to be coordinated with the teacher.
Yeah, but and I understand that, and that's great, good. But one of the things that the a lot of the teachers have a problem with is that with high school, you get to the end of the semester, and the kid wants to make up everything just about that they've missed throughout the semester. Teachers have a time frame in which they have to turn in their assignments. I mean, not the assignments, their grades. So now they're faced with 10, 12 kids who've decided that I'm going to wait till the end of the semester and I'm going to turn in all these assignments. It may be 4 or 5 assignments, but you multiply that times 10 or 12 kids, then that's a lot of different assignments. And it's being expected, of them to give those kids that opportunity. I'm one who I believe in second chances, but I don't believe that a teacher should have to be stressed to that point that they have to accept those assignments all the way up to the final day of school, of a semester. And so that's just one of my concerns with that. And we're not teaching our kids anything when we do that.
Yes, ma'am. I believe, when the student gives a note and the note is excused,
Mm-hmm.
then there will be a conversation with the classroom teacher. The classroom teacher will set the expectation for the student as far as how much time they have to make up work. And I'll look at I will make sure it's committed and clarified.
Okay. And is it the teacher's responsibility or the student's responsibility?
The student's responsibility to bring a note and to engage the teacher regarding
Okay.
So basically what we're saying is whatever the teacher decides is the time period that they want to allow, that's the rule.
Yes, sir. That's what's listed in the handbook.
So are we going to have our teachers to ensure that our teachers have that stated in their syllabus? Because if it's not stated in their syllabus prior to, and then something like this happens, I got a feeling that I'm pretty sure we'll have some issues. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I would say to you, Coach Graham, is that, you know, depending on, you know, how long they were out, you know, you'll probably determine how much time needs to be given. And one of the things I don't want to do is, you know, I don't want to manage the classroom with a teacher. So, you know, if a teacher feels like it deserves 3 days because they missed 1 day and 1 assignment, I think that's fair. If they miss 3 days, you know, and have 4 or 5 assignments, they're probably going to give them more time. So I think that gives the teacher the opportunity to manage their classroom. The thing that I'm going to ask, or the thing that I have asked the principals, is that we be consistent with our expectations with regard to makeup work and attendance policy. You know, I think our issue mainly was in you know, high school. I think that was, you know, I engaged the high school administrators and their committee mostly about attendance and makeup work. And one of the things that kept coming in a conversation was dealing with issues of having to manage a bunch of makeup work at the end. So you know, a lot of these attendance things were originally brought forth by the teachers and things that they felt like were appropriate for their students. Not only giving them an opportunity to be successful, but also holding them accountable for making sure that there's process and that they follow the process so that they can be successful, you know, earlier rather than later, not trying to do anything.
Okay, I was just asking because I didn't want to see him up here with us.
I will get that information to you.
Okay.
So we need to still go ahead and, if y'all ready to move forward and approve, and we've had it, email to do some.
I see it.
Okay. If y'all ready to move forward, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to adopt the handbooks.
So move.
Move to second.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Daniel?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, board. All right, strategic plan is one of our next main priorities that we're going to be working on. We're probably going to have some discussions with county leadership, maybe, and probably also school level leadership. We will also engage you probably in some conversations about soliciting maybe a GSBA assistance from the GSBA, since we are members of the Georgia School Board Association, with our strategic plan. And we already have our district improvement plan. Strategic plan, you know, will be a little different, but it will incorporate a lot of those aspects as well. So just an update that we're about to start on that work. It's, you know, it can be a pretty daunting process. And so you want a very quality product to come from it. We will entertain utilizing some of the resources that are afforded to us because the board is a member of the School Board Association. And if there's no questions about the strategic plan, and Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, if we move on, we will ask Dr. Burgess to give you information about the new school system website.
I apologize. I'm going to kind of talk to you from back here. I'm going to use the document camera and also show you some things on the screen here. Over the course of the last year, we've worked really hard, been very strategic with or intentional with our desire to update our school system website. It's served its purpose, but it's not necessarily the most friendly and inviting school system website. So we decided early last year to revamp it and go with a different company that we can use to give us a new website. Along with that website comes an app, and I was doing some research. 86% of mobile users prefer to use or spend time on an app as opposed to a website. So our society is really moving away from websites and forward more apps on the phone. So I'm going to put this up. You can see there's our phone app. And if you want to go to your app store, whether it be the Google Play Store or whatever your app store with your phone is, sorry, you can search for Wayne County GA Schools, and you'll see our app. This is our actual app on my phone. It is available now. You can download it on your phone. And it looks a little more yellow right there than it actually is. Our slogan for our app is going to be "Keep the gold in your pocket." And so that actually, if you look at my phone here, it is the old gold that we kind of prefer. So if you look on the three lines right there, and I apologize, that's not the highest quality. You can see a live feed. That's really blurry. A live feed, news, events, staff, documents, notification settings, and scores and schedules. So I'm not going to take the time to go through all these, but live feed in the news. Ms. Denny posted on 2 months ago about some art students and shared that with everybody who had the app. Not a lot of folks do yet because we haven't publicized it yet. We're kind of waiting to get back into the swing of things, and we're going to be doing that. So Ms. Denny put that on there a couple of months ago, and one of the things I have a schedule that I'm working out with each school and with the central office to make sure that it stays up to date, that we're putting something new out there every single week. And the difference between a live feed and news are just information that's put into the app that if you want to go find it, you're welcome to go find it. It's not like a Kimbo message. That would be the notifications on there. So back on May the 10th, we mentioned something about the baseball team. And that's the last one that was put in there. I do apologize, y'all, for the blurriness of that. So a notification would be like a Kimbo message going out that is going through our app. One of the things that we've gathered some data throughout the course of the last year, and as good as Kimbo is for communicating, a lot of our parents are weary of it now because they're getting information overload. They're getting 5, 6, 7 messages a day from their schools, and it's just become a lot to manage. So if they want, with the live feed and the news, if they want to go find some information about their school or about the school system, they can go do that. If a notification goes out, we're going to use notifications kind of sparingly. On the other side, there's a little schoolhouse right here. If you click on the schoolhouse, it brings up the school system and each of the schools, and then all that information I just showed you is on each school page. They can go check the menu, they can check sports schedules, all those things will be right there on the mobile app. For the website, Georgia DOE owns our website domain, the wayne.k12.ga.us. So we had to get approval from them to make the switch from our current website to the new one, and that's coming. We actually have approval now, so we are hoping to go live with our new website on Friday. Lorraine Thornton from the high school, the media specialist there, she is our webmaster, and she has been good as gold. She has done so much work in getting this ready for us, so we need to sing her praises. If you see her, please tell her thank you for all that she has done. She's been awesome. If you'll notice on these photos that are scrolling by, they're all about kids. And that's one thing we've been very intentional about with our website. We want it to be about our students. And that's not to say that we're not going to put adult pictures on there. You know, we might have Teachers of the Year or something special going on in school. We want to recognize teachers for other staff members. That is certainly fine. But we're going to really make an intentional effort to keep the kids the main focus. We also are going to have, we have the capability with this website that we didn't with the current one, is to be able to load videos. So if we want to have like some drone footage scrolling past here, you know, a real pretty Wayne County High School drone footage, live video going, or not live video, but video of the school, we can do that. We have that capability. And Kim Ryder is actually working on that for us now. The school system, the menu here is just like the app. Those same things you saw are here. All the information down the side was transferred from our current website to the new one, so that is all pretty well the same. You don't have access to this yet because we haven't gone live yet, but we are, like I said, Friday's our day. So we can click out of the menu. All the schools also are linked there. They have their individual school sites. We have the ability, if we would have our Spanish speakers who would rather see the website in Spanish, they have the ability to do that. We'll switch everything on there. If you're navigating through the website, there's a lot of information down here. But if you ever get lost on the website, that banner right there always stays the same, and that will take you back to the home page. We have all of our calendars listed here, the Infinite Campus Parent Portal here, quick links for things like Facebook, our ESS website, Georgia DOE, things like that are all listed there. Our faculty and staff quick links are here, and our company we're doing this through, Thrillshare is the name of the company. They have told us that about 75% of the website usage will come from faculty and staff. The parents want the app. It's the school system people that will use the website most often. So that faculty and staff equipment links will be used a lot. We have our school supply list there. All the different news things that are going on. Those will be updated. Like I said, very often. We have a little section here. It's pretty cool. Wayne County by the numbers. We have our graduation rate. We have 1 high school, 2 middle schools, 5 elementary. There's our enrollment. We'll be updating that often as well. We have 416 qualified teachers and administrators, a 16-to-1 student-teacher ratio, and then 40+ extracurricular activities. And then again, they can find the schools there. So, any questions about our website? We're really excited about it.
Dr. Burgess,
Yes, sir.
I may just talk to you later. I downloaded it and looking at staff,
Yes,
it looks like they're identified by their position.
they are. That's a work in progress. I mentioned that to the directors yesterday. If a parent's trying to find somebody, they don't know what their title is, it's going to be impossible to find them. So we're working on getting that alphabetical by last name.
Good deal.
That's hopefully we're working on getting that ready before Friday, before we go live.
Thanks, sir. Good.
Anything else from the board? We're very excited about it. Thank Dr. Burgess. We're very excited about the website. Thank Dr. Burgess and his staff. Ms. Thornton has been working very hard to get much more user-friendly and information-rich for our, for our community and for our employees. Very excited about that. Okay. All right, our Board of Education retreat. All I need to know is if you guys are ready to go, when you want to go, and we'll get the date scheduled and get an agenda developed. I'm thinking with school about to start, we want to probably do this a little bit after school starts to get us. Yeah, okay. I was going to suggest September. All right.
You didn't ask where we're going to go.
Well, I mean, honestly, Coach Mayor,
Right here in this room.
my preference is anywhere you want to go inside the Wayne County limit.
It's fine.
We need to have our mobile data access and our experience doing the superintendent search limited.
So we'll get some dates for you guys for consideration very soon. You ready to proceed, Mr. Chair? Yes. Okay, so the next thing is the Coastal Plain Education Charter High School agreement. Each year we sign an agreement with the Charter High School. This one is no different, and it basically just outlines the guidelines and the things that are required from them and from us. So nothing's really changed. There is a transportation agreement that brought into question that I had a few questions about, but I spoke to Mr. Rentz today, who is the superintendent of that Charter High School program. And he said basically, it is required by law to have that agreement in there. But if they were to ask us for transportation for a field trip or whatever, then they would pay whatever it costs for us to do the trip, to hire the driver, and all that kind of stuff. If there were any issues with homeless or McKinney-Vento, those numbers are so small they would not use a school system bus, or we wouldn't be very involved. In I think 3 or 4 years since the high school's been in inception, there's been issues with them needing to work with us for transportation. So I have that document available for the chair to sign, and then I'll sign it. It's like I said, it's the same thing we sign every 6 months in the system. So unless you have any questions, it should be just like business as usual. Okay. From what I understand, Mr. Chair, you carefully move on.
Yeah, I feel like we need to take action on that.
Okay.
We need to take action. Yes, sir. So a motion for approval for the charter school agreement. So move. Second. Move it second.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Daniel?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. McGoodman?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for that reminder, sir. And the next thing is, I believe there is a desire to talk about the Scriven Elementary walkway campus.
Yes, we actually, I don't know if you've had a chance to see exactly what we're talking about. We as a board have been going to visit all schools. That canopy was supposed to have been completed when that school was built. And went through the wayside somehow. But we need to do that. My question was, is that a safety issue that we could use CARES Act money for?
I'm not sure on that. I know you asked that, but we did agree to get that done, as we were conducting our final walkthrough with Dr. Griffin. We agreed that we would get it done. So it definitely needs to be put in somewhere to be done.
It does need to be completed because they can't get them. If it's raining, they're going to get something. But I didn't know if we could do that with CARES Act.
My initial response would be with CARES 3 would be probably not.
Yeah, I knew you said there was a lot of different stipulations now, but I didn't.
Yeah, it would probably not be something we could do with CARES.
I do have a question about Scriven. Why are they the only school that does not have, what do you call it? Not the awning, what is it called?
Yeah, we need that. We need to look at that too, sir. When people drive under it.
Yeah, they're the only school that does not have one of those.
I'm not sure why that was left.
That design was done, you're talking about
Oh, it was a long
4
time ago.
boards ago.
Yeah. Yeah, but they are the only school that don't have that.
So when they're,
I don't know if that's
kids are getting in the
something we
car,
look at
there's
at
an
the
issue.
same time or not.
Well, I mean, we definitely have the resources to have it analyzed and, a proposal or information provided to you that, what it would take to, deal with the canopy and with the lack of a portico. We can start that process very soon as far as, preliminary work, get that
That'd be awesome.
considered. Because
If it's raining, then we could keep.
Then we look at this and you're saying starting this, so I think these are 2 different projects, because I feel we do different projects. So let's do what's feasible for us, as far as getting that covering from that walkway to that auditorium, or gymnasium, and then look at that pricing on that, the part that was going to be covered the roadway.
Well, I think, the preliminaries would be just to, just pick someone to look at it who has the expertise to tell us, this is what it would take, these type of engineering and things that would take place. That would not be, that would be a minimal cost in the scheme of things to get you an idea. Obviously, once we kind of formulate a concept that meets the qualifications of the board, we won't move forward and do anything or incur any cost or obligate ourselves to do anything until the board has time to look at it, review it, and make recommendations about what they would like to see, and then, nothing happens until the board takes action. So, but, we can start the conversation and
So we consider that also, I just thought about it, said it was the only school, but we consider that also maybe in the future for the middle schools, because they pretty much fall in the same situation. Yeah,
yes, ma'am.
I mean, it's in the future, I
We
mean,
can consider all of those things, and, these might be things that, that the capital outlay committee, could discuss as well, because, they could fall into that category, possibly.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Maybe 2 of those.
so what's your next question?
Okay. At this time, we have, which we present to you May FY21 financial report.
The May bank balance was $4,949,700.
$93.16. The savings account had a balance of $10,942,904.81. Savings account is still holding strong. Actually, have not transferred any money from that account for several months, which is a good thing. Especially this time of the year. This is usually about the time that it's going to start transferring and will start coming into play. But we're in financially, the general fund, which is considered the main account, is in very good shape as far as coming into the end of the year goes financially. On page 2, the fund balance is $17,596,013.85. That is as well in very good shape now. June will be a lot. That is the year-end closeout. Just to remind everyone, there will be quite a few accruals and both on the revenue side and the expenditure side that will make that number, I guess, sort of volatile compared to what most months are. We initially estimated when we were working on the budget that I think it was going to be around $16,500,000 worth of fund balance left over. It looks like that is going to be very much true based on we only have 1 month left of financials to present to y'all. So as far as the FY21 year goes, where we are right now, we are in good shape. We did a good job estimating on that amount or what we thought would be rolling into next year for next year's funds. Over on page 3, you'll see the current month's revenue was $3,520,438.74, with the year-to-date revenue being $41,909,246.13. On pages 4 through 9, you will see the detail for the expenditures for the month. And over on page 9, you will actually see the total. The month of May's expenditures was $3,856,850.67, with the year-to-date expenditures being $38,097,113.94. On pages 10 and 11, on page 10, on the top of the page there, you will see the sales tax collection. It was $402,027.92. It brings the year-to-date total to $4,216,994.10. Just want to remind y'all, remember the sales tax number. That's what pays our bonds. Our rule of thumb is we want it at least to be $300,000 a month. It's been very strong for the last several months. This is also the amount of money that is the excess that ends up in this fund is what's used for capital projects. So it's through paying for debt service, it's used to pay capital outlay. So any excess there goes to a good benefit for us in the future. So that number is holding up very well as far as sales tax goes. On pages 12 through 14, you will see the federal funds. They are on a reimbursable basis. You will see that almost all of those are in the red or in the negative, except for one, I believe. And that was the one that was set up for bonus money to the state. We did the bonuses for all the staff. We had the amount that they told us that we were supposed to pay, and then the amount that reimbursed us evened out, so it came out to an even zero. That'll be the only one that you will see that has a zero currently. Come June, this financial report will be zero. It will zero out come June. It always does every year, and we start over with that negative balances. But we have to spend money before we can draw down from the federal. The state and the feds. So that's why it's always in the red, so don't be alarmed. Those numbers are supposed to be that way. On page 15, you will see the school food service. For the month of May, it turned a profit of $204,682.51. And the year-to-date profit for the school food service department is $974,293.79. Over on page 16, you will see the more detail of their expenditures for the particular month on that breakdown. And then on pages 17 through 19 are any amendments that were done for the month of May. The only one that was a new one was on page 19. You will see in red. That was where Dr. Kelly and I got the CARES 2 budget officially approved and put into place in that month. It was that completed. So, are there any questions?
Yeah, I got a question. Page 10, item 306. What is that?
Page 306. To be honest with you, off the top of my head, I'm not sure without pulling some details here. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure what we would cover in 306. It's probably it might be possible coding. I'm not sure. But let me double check on that.
I'm just wondering, it's
And
$56,000 worth of it. Yeah.
I'll shoot you a message to confirm, but I'm not
Thank
100% sure myself. Because I don't really know anything that should have been placed against the field houses. Off the top of my head, I really don't know. I've been in this for some time, so
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know what that would be. Let me double check that and see what might be posted.
Okay.
Okay.
How about send that over?
I can do that.
When did they put the, when did they have that stuff done? Could it be something dealing with that?
That would be 2 years ago.
So that, okay, I was just trying to, okay,
Yeah.
bring it 2 years.
Yeah, and it's not a current one, so it's not something that
Just happened.
Yeah.
I'm at a complete puzzle right at the moment. I should be able to answer it very quickly.
What is the, because I want to get clarification on it because I can't remember, couldn't find it. What is the amount that has to be approved by the board for purchases? Was it $1,000?
I believe that is. I believe that's correct. Yeah.
A lot of money, too. A lot of money. I'm saying. You might need to visit that. And seriously, because I've been told that even the city of, Chatham County, their max is, this is Chatham County with the $1 billion budget, is $25,000 before the council has to, that's the max that a person can make purchase without the board approving it. Yeah, there's a reason for it.
Remember what it was.
Yeah, I understand the reasoning for it behind it, but after further investigation about it, I think it'll keep us kind of safe if we lower that amount. I think I just think it's wise.
Unit basis, when you emphasize that, or you asking that?
Per unit,
Like for instance,
like per purchase, like,
for instance, if we bought, Chromebooks. Yeah, if we bought 1,000 Chromebooks, they're $200 a piece.
mm-hmm.
That would be a $200,000 purchase. What I'm asking, or do you mean $100,000? You see what I'm saying? Like if we went out and bought,
I won't think
I
it's
don't
No,
a
it's-
purchase.
It's they, yeah, for their
$25,000,
$25,000, it's per purchase. If they had $100,000 and they were buying police cars for Chatham County Police Department, the board has to approve that. You know, they would have to approve that amount. And it keeps, like I said, it keeps everybody safe, everybody, because we don't have $1 billion budget.
No.
So we got to be good stewards. So I think that's kind of wise that we go back and look at it.
That change was made to address some of the purchases for the technology department. That change was made. That recommendation came from Tony at that time.
Mm-hmm. But it went, it's a blanket situation, and it does not need to be a blanket situation. Now, if Ms. Denny needed to do $200,000 for textbooks, and Dr. Kelly said that that's what we needed, I really wouldn't have a problem with that. That's different. But other things that really need to have consideration about, I think it needs to go before the board.
That would be much. The textbooks are the only option, which comes in line with the budget. So that has to go.
So it goes through the budget item. So if we're doing that with that, you follow what I'm saying? Well, I don't think we need to hand a person a $100,000 blank check.
The only issue I can think of right off the top of my head is just dealing with some timing. You know, we put it on the agenda to meet and discuss a purchase. You know, we're working on the agenda, what, a week or so out in advance, and we had to get a quote or whatever, depending on what some of this stuff is. And by the time we get it approved, the quote may or may not be good anymore. That may play into some of that too. It's timing issues. We meet twice a month, you know, for the most part. Not saying we can't meet more than on a normal agenda. So sometimes you get a little bit of a holdup too in some of that and keeping certain financial information rolling as far as the money turnover. But I understand completely when you discuss the security. I'll be honest with you, even things outside the budget, I was seeing certain things to Dr. Kelly just for him to sign off on. That way I feel like there's two eyes that have seen something that's being purchased. In certain instances, that's kind of my normal thing too. I feel like the more people that look at it, the better.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna-
Dr. Kelly, wouldn't the building level administrator have to sign off?
The building level administrator has a little bit of discrepancy about local funds and things, but you know, when they're using system money, you know, it all has to go through RJ. And you know, not only does it go through RJ, it goes through 1, 2, 3, and ultimately comes to me, so we all have to sign off on it. You know, make sure that it's within guidelines, you know. And honestly, you know, $100,000 or whether it's 50 or whether it's 25, you know, you guys are going to know any substantial purchases that we do anyway. We're going to notify you either officially or unofficially, so you know at least if you're aware of it. The only thing that I see is that in some instances, especially in operations, it might delay things a little bit here and there. Because we have to wait for a meeting to get something approved. You know, that if we set it at $25,000 and we're working on something and we need to spend 30 grand, you know, on a dugout or something, then, you know, we have to wait for a meeting. But that's fine. I mean, you know, you know, we just make have much of a plan. You know,
Mhm.
so it's
And there's a difference in between when we are making a purchase over $100,000, those require bids. For purchases under that, it only requires 2 quotes. So there's a lot of things that we went into that, and I can't really, you know, quote everything being made a decision off of the top of my head. But those were things that we did take into consideration when we allowed for that to be a change that we support.
And that quote amount's 10,000. So it is a good bit lower. Anything over 10,000, we require at least 2 quotes. We've got at least, we're not just buying it from this person for this amount. We have something else to kind of back it up that it's a reasonable something purchased. It's not.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
$40,000 for something.
Yeah.
$10,000.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what's going through my mind, but you probably can read it. We're gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna have a pleasant day.
Let me throw out a
That's right.
hypothetical situation. That's athletic director. Who does he report to if he wants to spend $100,000?
well, if it is in the athletic budget, he has a good bit of flexibility. However, we have instituted procedures so that those things are approved and done in conjunction with the high school principal. And so that's the way it is currently, if I'm not mistaken.
Mr. Rick, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't want to misquote the amount, I may say the wrong number, so I'll leave it. There's an amount that if there's a purchase above a certain amount, that a document actually has to be sent over and signed off by the superintendent for them to be able to make the purchase. I'm not 100% sure the exact amount. $5,000. I thought that's what it was, $5,000. So it's not like they could go purchase something for $100. It's going to be known ahead of time. Somebody else is going to have to sign off on it before that purchase gets made.
I think what Ms. Daniels, I'm not trying to speak for, but checks and balances to make sure
Yeah, that's all.
everything's pretty.
And
Yeah,
some
that's
of those
it.
things came in as a recommendation from our audit. So some of those procedures of approving expenditures and those expenses came as a recommendation that these layers of people had to see this before this was done. So
Yeah, we know why that was done, but we're gonna leave that alone too.
Well, we're in full compliance of it right now.
Yes, thank you.
Me and RJ and Dr. Tilly went through our closeout back in May. So we're in full compliance. Everybody's complying, and things that were audited, those accounts saw, things everybody was in compliance, and they were checks and balances, school operation.
And on that subject, real quick, I will, next time I have a conversation with them, they'll be back in. I'll just kind of get their feel for some other school systems that they audit. I mean, I know that that's documented, what our spending procedures are.
Right.
And as far as I know, in the 2 audits I've now gone through, there's been no comment of our particular procedure the way it's currently. But I will ask, just kind of get a feel for what they think and what they can relate to me, what maybe some other school systems are doing. And I'll share some any information I get.
The last comment we had, which was 2 years ago, was about the procedures of who is approving these expenses and these expenditures paid from the different levels, from athletics to school nutrition, all the way up to the central office, even the technology expenditure. So that was all those things have been addressed and reported in the audit at that time. Motion for approval for the May financials.
So moved. Second.
Move to second.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ricketts?
Yes, ma'am.
Move into executive session to discuss or deliberate and compensation, hiring, or discipline action, or dismissal, or fair evaluation of a public officer or the interview applicants for the position of superintendent. Motion for executive session.
So move.
Move to second.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ricketts?
Yes, ma'am.
Executive session.
Liz, get copy of this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.